The Apple Watch Ultra continues to absolutely fascinate me. I called it Apple's best product of 2022. It definitely is. But I've learnt 6 things in 7 weeks of ownership that I want to share with you today. It's been a really fascinating 7 weeks with the Apple Watch Ultra. I haven't put it through its paces at all. I've not gone ultra running, I've not gone mountaineering, I've not done scuba diving. I've basically done my normal 5k runs and one 10-mile hike around the Peak District, which wasn't that difficult. Although, to be fair, I think most people who bought this watch are probably in the same boat. But I know there's quite a lot of you out there who are still wondering whether or not to drop £850 on a watch. And that's why I'm going to keep checking in with these mini reviews of the Apple Watch Ultra and give you my updated experience of using it. Firstly, and this is something that I was a bit worried about when I first bought it, the Alpine Loop, the orange one in particular, does get a bit grubby, and it happens quite quickly, and even if you don't use this watch for really extreme activities. And remember, I've only taken this watch on the treadmill, on runs around the housing estate near where I live, and okay, a 10-mile hike in the Peak District, but I wasn't climbing, I wasn't scrambling, I wasn't crawling through mud. Yet this band is starting to look a bit worn. It might just need a good clean, to be fair, but there are certain areas of this band where it's just looking a bit darker. The edges in particular are going a bit kind of grey and a little bit frayed, which is a bit worrying. However, as you've probably noticed, I'm not wearing this band today. And that's because I'm wearing a luxury leather strap from Buckle & Band, who are sponsoring this video. Now, although I used the word luxury there, I'm happy to report that these bands aren't priced in that way. This is their Lond leather strap. It's lovely. It's made from very nice, soft, quality leather. It uses CNC stainless steel on these parts here. It also comes with 1 year of warranty, which is fantastic, and there's a whole range to choose from on the website. So aside from these leather straps, they've also got active wear straps, which combine leather and silicone, which means you have more comfort during workouts. And they've also got vegan leather options, suede. They're really, really nice straps. Now this one is about £70, which I think is really good, particularly when you compare it against the leather straps that you can get from Apple, which cost a small fortune. And I think more importantly, it does prove that you can wear the Apple Watch Ultra in more formal settings. That was one thing I was worried about with this garish orange Alpine Loop. So again, thanks to Buckle & Band for sponsoring this video. I'll put a link in the description to their website so you can go and check out their straps yourself. My second learning is that Backtrack is a pretty useful feature. And if you're not aware, Backtrack resides within the Compass app of the Apple Watch Ultra, and it basically tracks your individual steps on a run or a hike or a walk, so that if you get lost, you can basically turn around and use the little diagram or the little map on your watch to retrace your steps. I actually used this recently. I was staying away in Southampton in a hotel. I've never been there before, didn't know the area whatsoever, but in the morning I thought I'd go for a run. And what I do in an area that I don't know is that I run in one direction for 2 miles and then retrace my steps. Now the problem with this particular run in Southampton is that it wasn't a straight line. I had to turn left and right a couple of times. I'd thankfully set the Backtrack feature running on the Apple Watch Ultra. It was early morning, I was tired, I didn't know where I was, and I could quite easily have got lost trying to find my way back. Thankfully, I didn't. I just followed the little line on the watch and it even showed me where my parked car was in the hotel car park. Now, it didn't exactly save my life, but it did make that run a lot easier. I didn't get lost. I didn't do more mileage than I wanted to do. A very simple thing, but it's a very useful feature, even for a completely normal runner like me. I have experienced scuba mode on the Apple Watch Ultra. Now I should admit straight away that I didn't go scuba diving when this happened. We actually went swimming with my 5-month-old son. But what was amazing, apart from my son experiencing swimming for the first time, obviously, was that when I put my hand in the water, when I submerged the Apple Watch Ultra, it automatically went into this scuba mode. So the face changed into this diving computer with a depth sensor and some other numbers that I didn't understand, and it basically told me that I was 0.1 meters deep, which isn't impressive whatsoever, but the fact that it turned into that scuba thing automatically was quite exciting. And it does make you realise that this watch is capable of so much more than you're doing with it. And it also makes me realise that I need to go scuba diving. The fourth learning about the Apple Watch Ultra in 7 weeks of ownership is that I haven't damaged it yet. Now this is a bit of a surprise because I have damaged previous Apple Watches either by dropping them or rubbing them against a wall by mistake or bashing a door frame. Now I've done a couple of those things with the Ultra and there's not a mark on it. So I've dropped it, I've knocked it against a couple of door frames, I've bashed it against a couple of tables. There have been a few tests on YouTube where people have really put this thing through its paces by smashing it with hammers and stuff and bricks and things like that. I've not done that obviously, but I've worn it normally, I've done normal things, I've not worried too much about it, and it's come off very well indeed. Now this might not last, I might just have been lucky so far, but I do get the impression that the space grade or the aerospace grade titanium is pretty tough. The fifth thing I've learnt about the Apple Watch Ultra is that not many people have them. Apart from my YouTuber mates who have obviously all got Apple Watch Ultras, I've only met one other person in person who's got one. And pretty much the first thing he said was, I don't know why I bought it, I wasn't even sure if I needed it, I probably don't need it, but I went to an Apple store and I just fell in love with it. I'd love to know, have you seen anyone in the wild wearing an Apple Watch Ultra? They do seem to be a bit rare, which isn't that surprising really when you consider how expensive it is, how massive it is, and how seemingly pointless it is. The battery life is arguably the most important thing on the Apple Watch Ultra, and after 7 weeks of ownership, it remains fine. It's a lot better than a normal Apple Watch, don't get me wrong. It will get you through 2 days, no problem at all. 3 is a bit of a push. You can just about do it if you don't do too many workouts and that sort of stuff. Now this is the biggest elephant in the room with the Apple Watch Ultra, because I still maintain that if you are a proper ultra runner or someone who goes away for days and days hiking, it's not going to see you through. For a normal person like me, it's very good. Like I say, it gets me through 2 days. It means that I now wear this to bed, so I wear it for sleep tracking because I don't worry so much about the battery running out. But for people who this is seemingly aimed at, which is the ultra impressive people, it's just not good enough still. The likes of Garmin do have a huge head start with this kind of thing. They've been making ultra watches for many, many years, and equally, their devices aren't doing quite as much as this thing. This is a mini computer. It's almost like a mini iPhone, so it's going to run out of battery much quicker. Now we are waiting for this low power mode to emerge, which was promised when the Apple Watch Ultra was announced. Now I will test that when it's available. I'll go away for a bit longer and do a longer hike. The fact remains at the moment that the biggest elephant in the room with the Apple Watch Ultra is that if you need a proper Ultra watch, you need to buy something else. I haven't changed my mind about the Apple Watch Ultra in 7 weeks of ownership. If anything, my belief that this is Apple's most interesting and best product of 2022 just increases each day. I would say if you've got the budget sitting in your bank account at the minute and you've been kind of going backwards and forwards about whether or not to buy one, just get it. Providing you do your research and you go and try one on in the store beforehand, because it is a very, very big watch. It only suits certain wrists and certain tastes. But providing you do that and you've got that budget in your bank account, you can't be disappointed with this watch. If, however, you are a proper endurance athlete or someone who goes away for many, many days hiking, I'd urge caution because the battery is still the limiting factor. Just keep that in mind. I'll keep you updated on my experience with the Apple Watch Ultra, so if you haven't subscribed, make sure you do and make sure you smash that bell. But in the meantime, if you want to see how this fared during a normal-ish 10-mile hike around the Peak District in the UK, keep watching for a link to that video.